Some of y'all want to be D's. You want to masquerade like D's because you want to be a boss. You want to look, no, you're not a boss. You just bossy. You ain't no boss. You just bossy. You know, real boss, a real boss, they don't talk about their boss, but when the fire comes, they go in on the sneak tip and they go in and rescue stuff and pull stuff out. You hear what I'm saying? So I had to get out of my emotions, right? I was in my emotions and I had to go like, all right, leave that to C. C make all the decisions. All right, E, from now on, all you worry about is the experience. When people walk in, that's your job. When we get on the phone, make sure you're on the phone. Like, just make sure the experience, right? So here's what happened, eyes. When I realized I was an I was like, ooh, I got the wrong people on the phone. I got people answering phones, and I'm like, ooh, this wrong. Because what happens is they love ET. And when they call, they talking to a D, a S, or a C on the phone, and they not getting the same experience. They weren't drawn to D's. They weren't drawn to S's or C's. They were drawn to the I. So I was like, yo, I need to get eyes. So when people call customer care, they get that same warm, fuzzy feeling they got when they were not. I can't be all things to all people, but I can hire eyes that anytime we have to deal with people, I can't have D's dealing with people. Because D's gonna get the results, but we're gonna lose the client. It's being real, because the D ain't gonna worry about how it's being said. And now my client, like, I'm up out of here. So I would literally have clients who would call me like, yo, homegirl, she gotta go. And they weren't saying she got to go because that she was incompetent. They were saying, I realized what they were saying was, she got to go because she's not you. I don't feel the same way when I talk to her that I feel when I talk to you. Now, C's a leader. I'm a shepherd. So if you're an I, write it down. You're a shepherd. You're not a leader in the sense of results, but you are a shepherd in that you get results through people. So when you're a shepherd, you got to come at it a little different. Like, shepherds are different. Shepherds are still leaders, but shepherding is different than leading. Does that make sense? A Hitler is a leader. Martin Luther King is a shepherd. Winston Churchill is a leader. Mother Teresa is a shepherd. It's a difference. They lead differently. And so for all my eyes, I want you to look up a book. It's called A Shepherd's Look at the 23rd Psalms. I want you to take a look at that book. All my eyes, I want you to take a look at that book. A Shepherd's Look at the 23rd Psalms. All right, now I want to show y'all something right quick. All right, so I realized that I got this dimmer switch, right, that I got to start using. So I'm looking at my natural, which is the yellow. I'm looking at my adaptive, which is the gray. Right, so what happens is, in my natural, I'm talking about stupid gregarious, like I'm right up there. But if you notice, in my adaptive, I go all the way down to sociable. So what happened was, after I had that conversation with my mom, I went from being super engaged with my mom to withdrawn. I actually ran away from home. So I didn't really realize that what happens is, when I'm in my natural and everything is going well, I'm like bubbly. But when I have to adapt, I start withdrawing. Now watch this. If you're dealing with somebody and they met you for the first time, when they're in a relationship with you, and you gregarious, and then something happened in the relationship, and you go all the way down to poise, like, that's a difference. That's like you. Just being real. That's a total. And so a lot of you be tripping, like, why people tripping on me when I get mad or because they don't know who you are. You like night and day. You so emotional that when you're doing good, you're giving them 100%. Then when you go down, you're giving them about 60-some%. That's a different person. A 99 is passing the class with flying colors. A 60 is you failing. And what I didn't realize is I got programmed that day. Now, that day in of itself didn't have to program me, but for whatever reason, I wasn't aware of what happened. So when things changed between me and my mom that day, it's like whenever I'm doing well, I'm like, let's go. But when I'm not, I withdraw. So now me and CJ getting into it, and we're not agreeing on stuff. And all of a sudden, I go from me and C hollering at each other to me withdrawn. Like, I'm talking about, I was grown. I remember being grown. I remember one time I was in Orlando on the phone talking to my mom, pacing back and forth in the hallway, and we getting into it. And guess what? When we would get into it, it would get so heated that we would hang up on each other, and then we wouldn't talk for about a month. So that's how I used to, like, that was my, whatever. And it probably be quiet as kept. I have to ask my mom, but her mom probably did it.